Hi, Naveen Prithyani here, and I'm really excited to share with you today the Stinu app. This is the app that gets you to do your money management properly before getting into each trade. So let's dive into it. Alright, so we have several different apps. For this particular tutorial, we're going to be working with Stinu, this app right here. So let's get that opened up. Now, on your first screen on Stinu, you're going to see a few settings: account balance, risk, and stop loss. Now, before you want to do that, you want to click on the menu up here on the top left and click on settings. Okay. Once you go into settings, you want to choose what your account base is. Now we have multiple different options to choose from. Okay, whether your account's in Aussie dollar, CAD, Swiss franc, euro. For this particular example, I'm going to do US dollar. Click done. And the risk amount, you can choose to be whether you would like it as a percentage of your account. This is good for those who are compounding, and for those who are measuring their skill set. Amount is the way to go. Okay. And then on top of that, if your position size, you like to see it in lot size rather than units, you can do that as well. So let's choose it in the amount and let's keep it in lots. Okay. So let's go back. Let's click on the back button there and X out of the menu. All right. So for the account balance, so let's say for this particular example, the account is $2,000. Okay. Click the check mark right here. Okay. Once that's done, I'm going to put in my risk. I don't want to risk more than $100 on this particular trade. I'm going to click check. And then in terms of stop loss, I have a 32 pip stop loss from my strategy that I'm looking at. And for this particular case, I'm going to choose 32 pips. So I'm going to click OK. And now I'm going to move to select currency pair. I'm going to click on that button. It's going to take me to the next screen. And let's say I'm working with pound Swiss franc, right? I can click on pound Swiss franc. Or actually, I can clear that by re-clicking it. I can click on Euro USD. So for this particular example, let's take a look at Euro USD. Of course, if you click on the more icon, you have more options in there. And you'll notice some of these pairs gray out because the order in which they're displayed is already chosen for you. So for example, you'll have Aussie CAD, but you won't have Aussie pound, right? Because it's normally pound Aussie. So you'll see sometimes some things gray out to keep the order in sync. So for this particular example, let's use Euro USD and hit calculate. Now, here comes the beauty of this app, okay? There's a few things you see here. One, it shows you how much is risk that you're doing on this particular trade based on your account size. And your risk amount, it's showing you're trying to do it based on dollars, not a percentage. So it's showing you both how much that is in terms of percentage, but also the dollar amount. Now, since you chose 32 pips, your lot size is going to be 0.31 is going to be your lot size. But here's where the beautiful part comes in with this. If when you're setting up for a trade, every now and then, for me personally, when I actually have a trade setting up, sometimes by the time my trade is getting ready, I notice I don't need 32 pips anymore. I need 37 pips, for example. I can simply just scroll down and go to 37 pips, and that's it. That's my new lot size now that I need to open up. I don't need to go to the original screen and reset everything and input all the numbers all over again. It shows me right here. If I want to choose a higher number, the denominations go from 40, 50, 60, 70. I can just click inside any one of them like 50. And I have everything in blue is from 50 to 59. So it shows you stuff in the inside. All right. So let's have a look at some of the other features that you have. You can clear this out. You can always use this. Let's take a look at it in the different setting mode. Let's take a look at it in terms of percentage and in terms of units. Okay. So let's go X out of this. So let's say the account balance now is $4,500 and the risk for this individual is 2%, no more than that, okay? And the stop loss for this particular trade that he's looking at seems to be 58 pips, okay? Just a random number, 58 pips, because it's going to take 2% and squeeze it into 58 pips. By clicking check, I'm going to go to the next currency pair and we'll use Euro USD again for this example. Click calculate. And here we go. So now you see your 2% on that account is now equal to $90. And to make sure you're doing $90 for 58 pips, you have to open 15,517 units. Okay, this is not lot sizes anymore. It'll say here it's units. Okay, so if you ever see you need to switch between units and lot sizes, you know, MT4 generally uses lot sizes. Brokerages like Interactive Brokers or TradeStation, they like to work with a little bit more on the unit side. So depending on what your brokerage is, you can choose it, and obviously you can scroll through and easily choose a different stop loss there. Now, some additional things in the menu options. You have tutorials. If you want to watch some other tutorials, they're there. Some of our other apps, you can click on this button here and see our other apps. One of our more popular ones is FX Meter app. If you want to attend some of my webinars, obviously here's a button for that. And then if you liked how this app works, please do click on this button and rate us, give us a nice, wonderful review, and we'll definitely get back to you on that as well. So, and some links to follow us and see how we do and what things we update. This app will be updated regularly as things progress, and if there is some feedback we get, which we need to add into here, we will keep this constantly updated. So I hope this tutorial was useful for you. I'll see you in the next video.